Hi there. You're watching Pop Culture Warrior. This is the way.
Hi there, it's your second favorite DP right here, okay? No, that's Deadpool, you silly little Hufflepuff. Anyways, I'm gonna need you to shut up that pretty little mouth of yours and pay attention because the show's about to start, alright? And, I don't know about you, but I know who's my vote for sexiest ex-soldier turned pop culture show host. Alright, enough foreplay, let's get on with the show.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is W.T.F. Nation Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome one and all. Today is March 19th, 2024, and this is episode 164 of Pop Culture Warrior. It's the show where CQ stays up to date on what's happening and in and out, and I don't know. I can't read his handwriting. Something about pop culture, and you don't have to. So, hi guys, I'm Spider-Man, filling in for CQ. Okay, so I'm not. I'm not actually Spider-Man. I'm lying. I'm not. It's me, guys. It's CQ! Surprise! How you guys doing out there? How's everybody doing? Anyway, it's me. It's CQ, Pop Culture Warrior. Joining me now is our surprise guest co-host for the evening. He's not Mad Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Angry Elf, everybody.
Parker!
How you doing, man? How's it going?
Oh, it's going. You're looking very appropriately dressed for tonight.
Thank you. Oh, I thought it was Deadpool. No, that's Deadpool back there. That's the head. That's Headpool. I am CQ. I was dressing as Spider-Man. You can see all my little Spider-Man collectibles. In case you haven't guessed, we have a very special guest joining us tonight. Later tonight, we have Yuri Lowenthal. He is Sony PlayStation's, I hate saying that word, Spider-Man and Peter Parker in the Marvel Sony's Spider-Man game. Incredible voice actor. Incredible voice actor. And for those that are like, oh, I haven't played the game, or like whatever, like this dude has done so much. Like dating back to like 91, he's been in some of the biggest franchises in TV, movies, and gaming. Just off the rip here. Not just Marvel and Spider-Man and all that. You know, he's been in DC properties. He's voiced Superman. He's voiced Flash. What else? He was Ben from Ben 10. He was.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So if I can pronounce it correctly, Sasuke Uchiha in Naruto, which is a legendary franchise. Thank you. But dude, franchises, and I'm talking multiple games like Call of Duty's franchise, Medal of Honor, Battlefield, Halo, Last of Us, Need for Speed, Star Wars, Uncharted, Mass Effect, Walking Dead, Titanfall, Final Fantasy, multiple Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's done both Leo and Michelangelo. Mortal Kombat, Fallout, Resident Evil, Saints Row, BioShock, Metal Gear Solid, GTA 5, Hitman, and he was the Prince of Persia in multiple games. So this dude has done legitimately everything you can possibly do in animation and video games. And to say that he's not a part of like the biggest hits of all time, he's also in Helldivers 2, which is going bananas crazy right now. Everybody's loving some Helldivers. So yeah. Dude, last week we talked about Endgame. Remember we talked about a bunch of Tom Clancy games? Yep. He's been in Ghost Recon. He's been in Hawks, when they did the airplane sim game. Yep. He was a voice in End War in the game that we were talking about last week. Small world, but yeah, this guy's done it all pretty much. So very excited to talk to him tonight and talk all about Spider-Man and video games and voice acting and just getting to know him. And I'm gonna show him some of my collectibles. I want to show him my Spider-Man film used cell from the Spider-Man cartoon series. I can't. The light's terrible. There you go.
Yeah,
There you
there you
go.
go. I was gonna say it just looks like a sheet of paper. That was a piece of paper that somebody used.
Yes, something like that. So anyway, put my head on. So yeah, Spidey will be joining us. Running a few minutes late behind today because life happens. Put Spidey right
Yeah.
there. There you go. There you go, Spidey. You're doing good. Take a sip of my. How you doing, bud? It's been a minute. How are you?
It has been. I'm alive. I'm breathing. Those are always good things.
Mm.
Those energy drinks that's gonna kill you.
Oh yeah,
Eight,
for sure.
8 o'clock at night. When you plan to sleep?
Never. No sleep for the wicked, baby.
Oh boy.
Never. Never. So okay. So couple things before we talk about latest and greatest in pop culture news. If you guys have been paying attention to my social medias, I have been just inundating clips. Have you seen them? Have you seen them, Elf?
Oh,
I mean,
yes. Oh yeah.
so good. I was at GalaxyCon this past weekend in Richmond, Virginia.
Yep.
Now, normally, I'm a pretty what's the word for this? Whatever
Energetic.
happens, well, whatever happens behind the camera or when the camera's off, I should say, I don't talk about it, right? Like, there have been many times I've had conversations with people who have politely declined to do an interview with me, which I'm like, you know what? Hey, it's okay. Like, that's fine. I get it. There are situations where, for instance, I was at GalaxyCon this weekend and I talked to someone who shall not be named. And I said, hey man, would you like to do an interview? And they said, look, I would, but I'm under contract with XYZ company. Things have to be approved. I'm not allowed to speak on behalf of their stuff without approval. Totally respect it. Totally understand it. You got to do what you got to do. I get it. Is it a bullshit excuse that a lot of people use when they just don't want to say? Sure, but no big deal. No big deal. That being said, I had an idea for this weekend. I said, instead of asking for interviews, because I prefer to do my interviews here, because when I do it at the con, it's loud, it's noisy, you get 30 seconds. So I said, you know what? I talked with a few people, and they're like, yeah, we'll come on at a later date. Great, awesome. We'll share that soon. But I decided, what would be easier, faster, quicker, and I think an easy sell is like, hey, would you like to do a quick shout out to the troops? Like say, hey man, thank you for your service, appreciate you, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and you're not speaking for a company, you're not speaking for a character or a brand, you are speaking for you. You as a person want to say thank you for the troops, easy sell. And lo and behold, a lot of people were like, fuck yeah, let's do this. And let's do it. Yep. And I had some really good ones coming out. I'm releasing 3 clips every day for the next couple days. And I have some really, really good ones coming. I've already released a couple good ones, and I have some really, really good ones coming. That being said, I'll have you know that I was told no by some people. Now, they didn't outright say they don't support the troops, but I feel like that was the intention. I feel like, and when I tell you some of these people had no one in their line, they're just sitting at their booth doing nothing. I can see why. And declined to take 5 seconds to say, hey man, thank you for your service. We appreciate you. Keep kicking ass. No, they were like, nah, I'd rather not. I'd rather not be bothered. And I went, you know what? Normally, CQ would just, okay, and move on. But
tell me you told somebody off. Tell me you got in their face and was like, you bleepity bleepity bleepity.
You communist fucking piece of No, I didn't. I didn't. Because I also want to continue to be doing this. But a switch flipped in my head where I went, you know what? I'm not going to keep it private. I'm gonna put people on blast right here, right now. I'm gonna let you find people at home know who told me in the nicest way possible to go fuck myself and to take my troops and shove them up my ass. So let's yeah.
We got to add them to the board.
Oh yeah, huh? Mm. So let's start with someone who, from a character standpoint, not surprising. From an actor's standpoint, I was a little shocked, but Emperor Palpatine, Ian McDermott, the actor that plays Emperor Palpatine, said no, not interested. Not interested in giving a shout out to the troops. Okay.
Yeah. No big loss.
Okay. All right. Again, goes with the character. Emperor Palpatine's kind of a dick, so sure.
Yeah.
Then, someone who I've actually talked about on the show and gave a lot of props to, Kimiko Glenn, I believe her name is. She was in Orange is the New Black. She is the voice of Penny Parker in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. She's the Asian animated Spider-Man. She had no one in her line. There's a booth to the right of her, packed with people. Booth to the left of her, packed with people. I mean, Anthony Michael Hall, who hasn't been popular since the 80s, had people at his line. Kimiko Glenn.
He's been in some stuff.
I mean, he's been in a couple things. I'll get to him. So Kimiko Glenn literally said, hey, would you just do a quick shout out to the troops? Just say, hey, so look me in the face and fuck me. Because she goes, I'm good. And I went, oh, okay, cool. You're good to do this interview. So I start taking on my character or my camera, and I start getting my mic and everything ready. And she's looking at me with a very confused look on her face, and then goes like, I'm good. And I went, oh, go fuck myself. Got it. Okay.
Did you use that exact words?
I wish I did. I really wish I did.
That would have been great.
I really wish I did. But I didn't. I chickened out. So, Caleb, why does he do so much head movement? What, me? Like this? There's a reason I have a bobblehead. Because I have a bobblehead. Let's see. Who else can we? Oh, let's go. Anthony Michael Hall. Anthony Michael Hall was another one who I said, okay, he's done a lot of stuff, and he's a known commodity in Hollywood, and had a couple people. And then I say, hey man, would you like to do just a quick shout out to the troops? Nope, not interested. Okay, right on. Moving right along. I had who was another one? What's the guys from Sons of Anarchy?
Which one?
Charlie Hunneth? He played Jax, I think it was his name. I don't know.
Yeah.
Charlie something. Well, I had him and Ron Perlman. Now, I did ask Ron Perlman, and he did say he would be interested, but he goes, look, out of respect, I got a lot of people. He had a massive line. He goes,
of course.
Come back, when the line is gone at the end of the day, and we'll shoot it. Now, I got busy. I was running around doing a bunch of other stuff. And by the time I got back, he was gone. He finished his line and then he left. So I'm going to give him a pass because he did say yes, come back. And he didn't. Same with the voice actor of Vegeta, Christopher Sabat. Was like, yeah, we'll do it. But he had just this massive line. So when I swung back later in the day, he was gone. So, okay. Who else gave me? Oh, I'm gonna let this one slide. I think his name is Charlie Murtaugh, the voice of Mario, the original voice of Mario. It's a me, Mario. Charlie Murtat or whatever his name is.
Murtat.
Now, Murtat, yeah. His excuse was, hey, I'm a representative of Nintendo, so they have to approve. Are we gay? No. I mean, I can only speak for myself. No. But he I don't know. It's his business. That's his business.
I did
I
20 years of
just,
infantry, so
I mean,
yeah, it gets
as
cold
as
and lonely some nights.
as close to gay as you can get.
Yeah. You ever play
Hmm.
gay chicken?
There was that one time. Remember, what
Which
was it
time?
in Grafenveer?
Uh-huh.
What's his name? Got he was in the he got pneumonia, not pneumonia, hypothermia, and
Oh yeah.
they made two of us crawl into that
The
sack with
sleeping
him
bag
naked. Yeah,
to warm
and
them up.
so
I
again,
remember that.
not gay, but man, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta,
Gay chicken. Gay
you know,
chicken.
it's all good, man. It's all good. Nothing wrong with it. If that's your swing, bro, go for it. Have fun.
Yeah.
Mm. So who else? There was a couple more. Um, and now I'm blanking. There were a couple of wrestlers, pro wrestlers that were there, and like I get with them that you have to go through their contracting company to get interviews and things like that. But a few of them again chose to as themselves as a person shoot a quick thank you videos. So for them,
Yeah.
it was a good time. So yeah,
Did you
so
did, did
go
you
ahead.
see Katie Sackhoff?
Funny enough, she was there, but I never saw her. I never came across her. There. Okay, so let me back up now and talk about GalaxyCon. If anybody's in the Richmond, Virginia area, or um, or GalaxyCon has traveling shows, so any of the GalaxyCon shows, they put on a great show. They put on an absolutely great show. Uh, Tons of talent from animation, video game voice, live action, all the different types of pop culture genres, from early to late to space to comedy to again, Sons of Anarchy guys. I mean, they had everybody.
Yeah.
All the huge list of guests. The one thing I'm not a fan of, because I've done a lot of conventions,
Yeah.
is from the main entrance. Like you go in,
Yeah.
there's the registration, you get your badges and all that stuff, and then you go down this hallway and you enter the show floor, and right as you enter the show floor, you are in the area where the celebrities are.
Oh, bam.
Yeah, you're just like right into it, which anybody that's been to a convention knows that's typically the most crowded area, right? Because everybody wants
Yeah.
to see the celebrities or stand. That's where all the lines are. That's where, photo ops, all that stuff. It's like right there when you walk in. I'm not a real fan of that. All the conventions that I go to, usually you walk onto the show floor, then you would walk all the way to the end, and then that's where
Yeah.
they'd have the celebrities. That's where they had the booths and the photo ops and all that stuff, or in a separate room or whatever. That made the entrance very crowded. It made coming right into the show floor just really hard to navigate. And then the further in you go, it would clear up because like that's where all the stands are. And from a business standpoint, those shops, those artists, those retailers, those you want them at the front door. That's where they're going to get the
Yeah.
most traffic and able to make the most sales and things like that. So I'm sure for them, they weren't happy about being kind of on the far end of the convention. I have a couple buddies that had tables there, and we were talking about it, and then not for me, but for them on the business side, the internet, the signal was
Oh.
absolute trash, absolute trash. And nowadays, most people don't carry cash, so everybody's doing hotspot, card scanning things.
Card tap. Yeah.
And it was like I went to buy one thing. The guy he goes, okay, hang on a second, and like ran out into like the walkway to get a signal. Came back, he's like, all right, scan it, and then like ran back into the hallway so that like the signal could go through. And I'm like, if you have to do that for every sale for 3 days of a convention, you're gonna you're gonna get your steps in, I guess. I don't know. Hey,
Yeah,
Pete, how
there
you
you go.
doing, man? So we got some really great content from the people that were willing to talk to us. When I tell you, we had three of the actors from Psych. We had
Oh wow.
wrestlers Matt Hardy and Lita, which are legends in the business.
Oh
We
yeah.
had oh my god, Dragon Ball Z. So the guy that does the voice for Krillin, he was really
Mhm.
cool. So many people talk to us. Really good actors, really good comedians, voice actors. Dude, oh, you're gonna love this one.
Oh
It was
yeah.
gonna be a surprise, but I'm gonna announce it now. Peter Cullen. We got Optimus Prime. We got Optimus Prime, baby.
You got Optimus Prime?
We got Optimus Prime. Autobots roll out Optimus Prime. Yeah.
Oh,
And he's coming on the show. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, when
Mhm.
he comes on the show, you've got to get it, clip it where he says, "One shall stand, one shall fall."
He was
Oh.
a very, very nice guy. Very cool to talk with. His brother was a lieutenant in
I
the
forget.
Marines. I want to
He
say
was in the Marines. Yeah, he was his inspiration for Prime.
yes.
Yeah.
I've got a video of him telling the story. So
Nice.
I've got that video. Did I get Bumblebee? No, I did not get Bumblebee. He was not there.
You just got to have the radio.
King says no one cares about Krillin. That's messed up, but it's really true. Like if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, Dragon Ball fan, like nobody cares about Krillin. Nobody does.
Yeah.
But that's mean. Which apparently the voice actor that does it, Sonny Strait is his name, really good artist. Like he was just sitting there and he's just like doodling, and I'm like,
Oh,
I was like, damn, you're really good. He goes, oh yeah, and he has like all these. He sells artwork. Like on top of being this accomplished voice actor, he's also a really good
Nice.
artist. So when he would do signatures, autographs for people, he would do a little Krillin
Do a little
drawing. Yeah, he does like a little doodle.
nice.
So I was like, oh, that's pretty
Nice.
cool, man. That's pretty cool. Multi-talented. So we got Peter Cullen, Edward James Olmos, who is a
Oh wow.
phenomenal. Not only did he give us a shout out, he even gave W.T.F Nation Radio a shout out. He goes, I appreciate what WTF Nation Radio is. Because he asked me, he's like, so what is it? What do you guys do? Like, what's the thing?
Yeah.
And I said, well, we're stationed, mostly vets, and talking to military vets and the community and
Right.
just bringing them together. And so he gave us a great shout out, WTF Nation Radio. Yeah, man, we got, dude, just so many, so many, and a bunch more coming. Here, like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll give you a list here of who I got. The rapper Logic. Logic was there. He's promoting I guess like he's doing a comic series. So we got Logic. We got like I said, 3 of the people from Psych. We got Steve, the original from Blue's Clues. Steve.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Barry Botswick, who's a legendary actor. Who is this one? This one is I can't even tell this Logic. Chris Parnell. Chris Parnell, the voice of Jerry and Rick and Morty. He's Jerry,
Yeah.
or Cheryl Figgis in God, I'm drawing a blank. Archer, or a billion other things. Chris Parnell from Saturday Night Live and all these amazing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Dude, like so many. So, here's a guy you would know, Chris Claremont, the legend. Chris Claremont, the X-Men writer, the legend.
Yes.
He got him. He wants to come on the show, dude. It's shocking how many people have military family. Peter Cullen, military family. Edward James Olmos, military family. Chris Claremont, military in his family. Like the list goes on and on. Sonny Strait, military in his family. So, and these are all like brothers, uncles, cousins, whatever. But I got 2 of the voices from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. The dude that does Meatball and the dude that does Shake. I got them to give us shout outs and want to come on the show. So yeah, dude, it was such a good convention. We got a lot of great talent.
Did you get anything signed by Chris Claremont?
I didn't. I did not. I wanted to, but if you were there, you would understand. Like the moment we had was
You
very
had
much
seconds.
it
Yeah.
wasn't a fan moment.
Right.
Like we were having this kind of like very professional, like we were talking about the industry and talking about things. So I thought it would be a very like, can I get your autograph? So I was like, yeah, I'll get him another time. But
Hold on. I've got this long box. Would you be willing to sign everything in this long
just
box?
sign the box.
Sign the
There you go.
box and
Everything's
seal
in
it. Seal it. Everything's Chris Claremont. It's a sealed long box.
Yep. I'm gonna get a CGC slab for the long box. It's just pressed glass on it. Yeah. So, no need to feel ostracized as a civilian. If you're a civilian watching this show, totally fine. Totally fine. This is a show for everyone. It just so happens we started as a network for veterans, but everyone's welcome here. Everyone's welcome. Of all the shows, we don't talk military. We just happen to be ex-military.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a really good con. Also, outside of that part of everything, which by the way, I really did like the badges. A really nice badge.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
GalaxyCon press. Very good material. I like it. They're usually like shiny and really thin, but that was good. From the business side of things, got some really great connections. There's a couple of companies that might want to partner with us and might want to do sponsored giveaways of some really cool stuff and things of that nature. So stay tuned as I'm going to, be networking and doing that. But there's a couple of stores, like for instance, one is let's call it like a pop culture. I don't know, what would you call this? Like a clothing store, clothing line, but like t-shirts that are like, the one I really liked that he had was the old NES cartridge. Yeah. And instead of a game title, it said "Blow Me" with an arrow down, which I was like, okay, I can dig that. So
if you pick up these sponsorships,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be like halfway through your show, cut to a commercial, and it's you saying, "Blow me."
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody loves my "Blow Me" shirt. So yeah, but he makes all his own pop culture gear. So, it's, we can get the logo and do some really fun stuff there. Couple of like toy shops, or shops that do, the mystery boxes. If you're at a convention, they do mystery boxes. So when we might be able to do some sponsored giveaways, you win a thing. Hey, you tell me what's your pop culture thing of choice, and you get a mystery box of that sent to your home. So that's really cool. And then lastly, not very pop culture related, but for me, game changer. For me, game changer, and I might get into business with these people. So stay with me as I give you a little story here, a little story time with CQ.
Okay.
Those that don't know me, my back is jacked up, real fucked up. Infantry, airborne, multiple car accidents. It happens. And so there are 3 spots in my lower spine that have no disc anymore. They're just bone on bone action, hardcore. So I'm always in pain. Now, also when I do these conventions, I have camera equipment, I have microphones, I have batteries, I have chargers, all types of stuff, and I'm carrying it in a backpack. And when I'm 9 to 10 hours on my feet running the length of a football field back and forth, it wears on me. It wears on me quite a bit. And I usually suffer for it for the next couple days. While I was walking around, sorry, the thought in my head of what I was about to say, this woman approached me. What I wanted to say, because we're not PC here, what I wanted to say is very much like one of those, think of like when that kid got the mogwai from the old Asian guy. This small Asian woman approached me from seemingly nowhere. And
Michael-san.
She's like, I have something for you. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, she was like down here, and it just surprised me. Yeah. So stay with me. She goes, "Hey, what are you carrying in that bag of yours?" And I thought, wow, that's such a random, weird question. I was like,
My balls.
I was like, camera equipment and this stuff. I said, I'm filming stuff. She goes, oh, so, and then she saw my badge that says press. She goes, oh, so you're working? And I said, well, kinda, yeah. I mean, if you call this work, sure.
Yeah.
And so she goes, you need to try this. And I went, what? And she pulls me to this stand that she has, and it's these bags, and but they're not regular bags. They the closest thing I can say they look like are holsters. It's meant to go on your side, like the belt goes across like a belt, like your hip, and then there's a leg strap. So think like a Black Widow side pouch kind of style.
A drop leg.
Sure.
She's trying to sell you a drop leg.
Something like that. Yeah. So first of all, and I'm not sponsored by her yet, but God bless. If I can, I will.
Yet.
Hand makes them, and phenomenal company, great quality. It's modular, so you can do the side rig, or you extend the belt. You can do the over the shoulder,
Is
satchel.
that one of them?
This is one of them.
Okay.
And it's got pockets and zippers and buttons galore. Dude, when I tell you everything that was in my backpack is in here right now.
Nice.
This small thing had all my cameras, all my mics, all my batteries, pocket for my tripod, zippers galore, inside, outside. Some of the pockets are magnetic sealing. Some of them are zippered. I had it for my, they got the inside has the, which they have like a Velcro if you want to do like a sidearm. You can do a little concealed carry if you wanted to.
Yeah.
The front, here's that. You have Velcro,
Panel.
whatever the fuck you want on there. It's modular. They sell other, you can connect pouches for water and shit. Business card holders, credit card holders, all the stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, so you're sitting there. She's basically sold you on this, and you look at her and you say, how much? And she looks at you and goes, Siku-san, normally $100. For you, $19.95. Right? Is that how it went? Come on.
No, actually. No. She did give me a good discount. But so here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. I saw it, and I'll be honest. I saw it, and I went, that doesn't look like it's for me. Like, no offense.
Yeah.
That's not for me. And she goes, really? I think you should try it or whatever. And then she put it on me, grazed my crotch. No, she put it on me. She knows how to make a sale. But then she she had these 2-gallon bottles and then a couple small bottles, and she starts shoving them in there. She goes look. And one thing I noticed, because I had put my bag down, is that I'm carrying essentially 4 gallons of water in this. And I didn't feel the weight. It's really engineered well. And so I was like, huh. I was like, okay. And she tells me, she goes, okay, you're working here all day, right? I said, yeah. She goes, I'll tell you what, take one, use it, try it. If you don't like it, bring it back. No big deal, right? She's like, I'm a small business. I'm not going to, I can't force you to buy it, but she's like, just try it. And I'm like, you know what? Bet. I got to be here anyway. So I literally took all my stuff out of my bag and I put it in that bag. And I left my actual backpack with her because I was like, look, I want you to know that I'm not going to leave with it, but whatever. It's a backpack. I could have left with it. But I left some stuff in there. So I left my bag there. I gave her my business card too, so she had my information. But I did, dude. I wore it because I put it right on before lunch, and I was there till 6. So I wore it for 6 or 7 hours, walking all around the convention. And when I tell you, my back did not hurt at all. Zero. And I had everything on it with me.
The only concern you're going to have is over time if you're if you've got it on your right hip, you're going to end up kind of doing this number.
Yeah.
So you need to get 2 or, and offset it.
She actually did. She's like, here's a connector so you can put a second one on your left if you needed more gear. And I was like, yeah, well, maybe.
you can walk around.
Yeah, quick draw camera, quick draw microphone. But it's just, I know it sounds stupid, but it's something that I noticed that really helped me. Because throughout the day, when I'm like, hey, do you want to do this thing? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. I'm literally like, zip camera, zip microphone. Here you go. Versus like, I used to have to take the bag off and dig around the bag and get all the stuff. And like, it was quick draw. You know, hey, you have a business card? Zip, whoop, right there.
I got a business card.
You know, so, you know, or when they would give me stuff, like I didn't have to like take off my bag and put this, I just right in my pocket, right in the thing.
Can they personalize it? Get an embroidered CQ on there?
Oh yeah. Shit, they had a full display. Like they were in different colors, different sizes, different modular setups. Some had buttons, some had zippers, some had, I mean, then there was like crazy colors and American flag. Like they had the whole thing. You can customize however you want. So I'm, again, when I tell you at the end of the day, there's no bullshit. I'm not selling it. I'm just saying at the end of the day, I went back and I told her, I was like, you know what? Thank you. I said, thank you. Because I have no pain in my back. Now, again, I'm not going to use this every day, but when I'm traveling for the show, when I'm doing these setups and things, and I got to be on the move, I'm taking it. And I was like, hey, man, I thank you so much. Like, I love this. And I was telling her like how I used it and how it helped me. She pulls out her phone. She goes, can you say all of that again so I can post this to social media? And I was like, fuck it. I'll be your bitch for this one. Sure. I was like, you're going to give me a good deal, right? She goes, yeah, of course I'll give you a good deal. So long story short, I got saved $50 off of it because I shot a commercial for her for it.
Nice.
But they're not cheap, but they're handmade, made here in the US, amazingly well. I'm going to work with her because I want to give one away to the audience. So I told her I will work. You'll have to enter just like anyone else. So we'll definitely I'm gonna get with her and we're gonna give one away. Maybe bring her on. We'll talk about it or whatever, and just the inspiration. There's different sizes and different setups and all that, but very cool. I fucking love it. If you see me out in public at an event thing, you will now see me wearing one of these because it's incredible.
And he now uses a fanny pack on the other side.
I mean, hey, I'll do what I got to do. I don't care.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so little tactical bag, very convertible. You can side sling it. There's a loop and you put the thing in and it could be a backpack. You can make it a backpack, a small backpack, but it'll be a backpack. But it worked great. I loved it. I'm like, yeah, that's happening. That's happening for sure.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so a lot of good came out of that that event, and yeah, we'll be having very, very many. Scott has a good point. He goes, just wear a plate carrier and press on it attachments and stuff. Yeah, you know, I mean, you could do that, but again, that's the weight onto my back, which was the whole problem to begin with. I didn't like all the weight on my spine, so having that on my hips, like a holster, distributed the weight on my lower hips, and so for those, as a guy suffering from nonstop back pain, if anybody out there has a lot of back pain and they have to carry stuff, get one of these bags. I'm putting it out there. I'm gonna have them on. I think the company's name was, where is it? It's called Oob Gear, UUB Gear.
Does it have an attachment for my Camelback?
I'm sure they could set something up. They did have like, I almost bought it too. They had like a little clip-on thing that's for like water bottles, and you can just that way. Yeah. But I wasn't gonna use it for water bottle. It's vodka bottles. The only thing that wouldn't fit in this bag, that everything I brought, was I had one of those like longer tripods. Like when it's closed, it's this big, you know, and then it extends all the way out. So that obviously wouldn't fit. But I was like, but that water bottle holder, right into like, because it sits like almost like in your back hip, your buttocks. Yeah. I could just have that back there, and if I need, you know, whip out the tripod.
What you need to do is tomorrow, this weekend, whatever, do a video, model this thing so everybody can see it, and just, you know, like just straight up, like just focus in on it. Like if you have to, just focus in on that buttocks area.
Yeah. The crotch. You got to see it from the inside of the crotch. It's
right there. You just really got to get right up in there. Like, you know, just almost to the point where I could be, I can smell it.
Yeah. It smells good too. It's got a really nice pungent
Aroma?
odor.
Ooh,
It's
ooh.
like what was that quote? Like a rich mahogany. It's
Oh,
like
rich mahogany.
it's got like a rich
Ooh.
mahogany smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that is my experience at GalaxyCon. It was good. It was
good.
it was a good time. I was able to get there before it opened, and I have so much respect for certain actors that and creators and things and voice actors that were there, because you had the people that were like, the minute they could leave, they left, right?
Yeah.
Where they felt like I contractually met my obligations, they were out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them quite early, in fact, on the Sunday. But there was a few, Peter Cullen among them, who I legitimately heard him say, I'm not leaving until I've met my last fan. And that his line just kind of never died down until literally over the speakers, they were like, we are closing the doors. You have to leave. It was him, and it was, what was his name? Gary. Oh, God, I forgot his name. Gary something. Really good actor. He's been in, oh, shit, what was it? Whose Line Is It Anyway? He's the black guy that always does Whose Line.
Oh, yeah.
That's not Wayne Brady.
Yeah.
The other one. Let me see. Hang on a second, because it's gonna drive me crazy now. My goddamn OCD.
I should have just gone up because I
Should've,
have
man.
I should have. I've got a lot. Do you remember? Remember when we were living in Italy? Remember that
Mhm.
stupid large Optimus Prime I had? That
Mhm.
was like, I still have it. I could have brought that and had him sign the trailer.
You could have. You
I
could have.
I could. Oh God.
Oh
But
man, they took it down already. They already took down the website that had all the guests that were there.
of
Um,
course they did.
yeah. Wow, that was fast. Let's see, home. But they have a thing that says the next GalaxyCon Richmond in 372 days, 17 hours, 13 minutes. So yeah,
Get your tickets now.
get your tickets now. Yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe they already took that shit down. They put on a good show, man. They run a tight ship over there at GalaxyCon. They run
Yeah.
a tight ship. Okay. Well, anyway, fuck. That actually sucks too, because I was gonna use. I wonder if I could like kind of hack it here. Let's see. Let's do Galaxy Con 2024 guests. See if it lets me do that. Because I'm a hacker. Oh no, page 404. Was it 404? Page not found. No.
It's all been pulled down. Don't do it, CQ. Don't do it. You don't need to get pulled down. Not at this time.
Nah, I'm mad more than anything that I didn't save the images. I was gonna use the images for a video, and because I've never seen a place shut down the guest list that
On
fast.
Sunday, at Sundays, the janitor is sweeping out the convention center. There's the
That's crazy.
click click click. Take it down. Pull it down.
I'm literally I'm kind of shocked where I'm like, wow, that was you don't typically see them do that where they just like
Yeah.
rip everything down like the second they're gone. Anyway, all right, whatever. That's not important.
So what else? Did you get a press invite to go see the new Ghostbusters movie?
No, not yet. Not yet. Sometimes those come
Not
in a
yet?
little bit late.
Because it premieres Friday. Well, Thursday night.
Ooh, could try to. Sorry, somebody could try to get it through the Wayback Machine if you get me a link. The link would be GalaxyCon Richmond guests. I don't know. Yeah, hit me up on the side. Hit me up on the side, and I'll get that to you. Gary Coleman. No, it's not Gary Coleman. Black guy.
Yeah, but Gary Coleman was black, but short.
Yeah.
He'd be like this.
So what else? What were we talking about? Oh, so for Ghostbusters, no, not yet. I did get a press invite to something. What was it? I got a junket invite. It was something. I'd have to go through my emails. Something season 2, I think, of a show that they were doing a press junket for, and I was like, all right, yeah, put me on the list. But yeah, so needless to say, I mean, a ton of good stuff came out of that convention. I'm so glad I went. I was almost hesitant on like, yeah, if I should even go or not. I wasn't sure because I didn't have anything set up ahead of time. Yes, politically incorrect Q. It was 2024 GalaxyCon Richmond guests. I did develop a multi-cam and pitch. I like that. This is talking about the holster. Yeah, the bag, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what to call it because it's like not a thing that I normally.
A satchel. It's a satchel.
It's a leg satchel. That's a leg carrier.
Ooh, wait a minute. You need to get a bullwhip from the other side.
I mean,
and then get a nice fedora and a jacket and a John Williams soundtrack.
Yeah. You really want to help her out, have her develop it in a multicam and pitch it to the government. Side sack. I like that. That's a great name. Let's call it the side sack.
As a government contractor, that's a that's a tough sell, man.
Side sack. Some of them are called koalas, and then some of them are called, what was it?
Koalas.
Pandas. So koalas or pandas, and I think it had to do with like the size and style of. So some of the bags were koalas and some of them were pandas. Really leaning into her Asian ethnicity, but you know it's all good. Tactical bondage bag.
Ooh, I like it.
That's
tactical bondage bag. That could be,
That's a good one.
I mean,
that's a good one.
Honestly, if you really wanted to come down to it, who you could sell it to is maybe the medics. 68 whiskeys. That could be,
Sure.
because they care, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. What else? We got a couple more minutes before we jump to our break here. What else we got going on? What's big in the news? What you got?
Ooh, tomorrow. Shinkity. X-Men 97
That's right.
premieres.
X-Men 97, the 20th. That's right. That is right. Okay. I like it. I like it.
Here is the I want to know, is it going to mesh well with how X-Men the animated series ended? Is it going to, like, because I'll tell you this right now, this X-Men the animated series, that is what really truly got me into comics.
Sure. A lot of people. I think that and Spider-Man the series and Batman animated series. Yeah, for sure. That time. So I didn't want to say this because I'm so humble.
Have you seen some of it?
I've seen the first 3 episodes.
And spoil free impression.
Spoiler free. It's really good. It's really good. And again, spoiler free.
Yeah.
They pack so much into the first 3 episodes that I just don't know how they can keep that pace going. That's, I don't know. That's my. Take it as a positive. Take it as a negative. They pack so much in, and when I say the show picks up the day after the last episode.
Nice. Okay.
So if you're wondering, like, what's the time jump gonna be? All I'll say is first episode picks up the day after the last episode from like 1990, whatever the fuck. So and it's good. It's good.
Good. Because my daughter and I have been every Wednesday night we've been watching Bad Batch.
Acolyte. Did you see the trailer for Acolyte came out?
I'm not. Can we talk about something else? I'm not. I will watch. I will watch
Fair
the
enough.
first episode and get my feel for it. But I'm
Fair
without
enough, man.
without being negative. When the show is helmed by Harvey Weinstein's former executive assistant, and my background in the army, it puts a real bad taste in my mouth before the trailer even premiered. I had a bad taste in my mouth about this show. I just have a real problem with Leslie Henslin.
I mean, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
I just have a real bad. She's.
I will say that a lot of wow. Hey, I actually thank you. Somebody sent me the link to yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not gonna ask any questions, but it worked.
You got what you need.
I got what I needed.
Don't ask questions. Just say thank you and
just
move
say-
along.
Just say thank you and move along. And I'm looking now. Oh, that was I did try to get to Troy Baker, who obviously huge in the voice acting community.
Yep.
He played what's his name from The Last of Us, Joel from The Last of Us, and
Yep.
Joker and Naruto. I tried to get a hold of him, but he was just slammed. Gary Anthony Williams, that's who it was.
Oh.
Gary Anthony Williams. He's done voices for Ninja Turtles, for Boondocks, not Boondock Saints, the Boondocks.
The Boondocks, yeah.
Yeah, but he's Bob's Burgers, Family Guy, Cleveland, like all of them, all the animation. He's done all of it. Really, really fun dude. Really, really fun dude. But yeah, man, it was so many people. Really, really, really good time. Really good time.
It sounds like it. It sounds like this place was just jam packed.
It was, when I tell you, like I haven't even. Oh, you know who else on the fuck list? Brent Spiner, your boy, fucking Data.
What did Data do this time? No,
he can
it
go
wasn't
fuck
Data.
himself.
It was Lore. It wasn't Data. It was Lore.
Sure.
What did Lore do?
Sure.
What
it
did
was.
What did Brent Spiner do?
Wasn't interested in doing a shout out to the troops. He wasn't. He said he didn't want to be bothered. So there you go. There's your boy.
Fuck him.
There's a couple people on my shit list. You know who else is on my shit list and wasn't even from this convention, but she has stiffed us at every convention we've ever gone to, is Felicia Day, man. She you would think she's like super cool and chill and everything, but like every time I've tried to like, hey man, do you wanna shout out the vets or say hi to the folks at home or whatever, and she's like, nope, not interested. No, thank you. I'm like, okay, well,
All right.
all right.
All
Fuck
right.
us, I
So
guess.
we'll add it to the list.
add it to the list.
All right. So let's do a tally. We've got 98% of Hollywood is
Yeah.
not coming on the show.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. I feel sorry for anybody that would come on this show as a guest. Not talking to anybody in particular. So guys, all right, we're gonna take a short commercial break. When we come back, I've adorned the studio. I mean, it's a tease of who we've got coming on. Don't rush, man. You got time. You got plenty of time. No need to rush. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. It's okay. Inside joke. All right, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back from commercial, we've got the incredible Yuri Lowenthal joining us. Stay tuned. If you got questions, put them in the chats, and we'll try to get to all of them. For now, Angry Elf, we're going to see you on the other side?
Yeah, as long as there's another side.
Shut up. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. All righty, man. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back right after this. Shots.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
You there? Yeah, it is right, you. Let me ask you something, alright? Where the hell do you think that you're going? Oh, what do you think because the show's going to commercial that means you get to just walk away? Well, CQ asked me to pass on the little message, alright? And it says, I'll be back.
After all I've done, do you love me now? Do you love me now? After all I've said, running through your head, do you love me now? Do you love me now? And if I told you everything, I bet you cry and run away. 'Cause with all the lies I keep, made you believe this was me. The truth is I am not at all who I preach myself to be. And I deserve to be alone, and I'm alone here with me. And after all I've done, do you love me now? Do you love me now? After all I've said, running through your head, do you love me now? Do you love me now? And if I told you everything, I wonder if you would believe that with all the ways you've tried, I couldn't change my selfish needs. And with endless love from you, I took for granted everything. And I deserve to be alone here with me. After all I've done, do you love me now? Do you love me now? After all I've said, running through your head, do you love me now? Do you love me now? And I believe I could close my eyes and make it go away in dreams. And honestly, I could die to take it all away from me. After all I've done, do you love me now? Do you love me now? And after all I've said, running through your head, do you love me now? Do you love me now? After all I've done, do you love me now? After all I've said, running through your head, do you love me
You're watching Pop Culture Warrior. The force is strong. They have the high ground.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Awesome. All right, everybody, we are back. And if you know me, you know I'm excited. As you can tell, I have a bit of a passion. Yeah, don't worry. Nobody can see you or hear you, so that was just for you, buddy. That was just for you. Joining me tonight, we have a true maestro of the microphone. He's known for giving life to some of the most beloved characters across anime and video games. His dynamic range has captivated audiences worldwide, from the intense battles of, and I'm going to pronounce this correctly, Sasuke. Sasuke. God, man, I suck at that. You know what? Whatever. From Naruto to the web-slinging heroics of Spider-Man. He's a man of many voices and talents, not just a voice actor either. No. He is a martial artist, a published author, and interestingly enough, a polyglot, which is a word I had to learn today for this very interview. For those uninitiated at home, that just means it's someone who knows several languages. So grab your mask, strap on your web shooters, get ready for an action-packed team up with the amazing, spectacular, astonishing, superior, and some might even say ultimate Mr. Yuri Lowenthal, everybody. Give it up for the man.
Wow, you are a Spider-Man fan. You used all the words. That was.
I actually had to cut it down. I had a much longer version of that, and
fair enough.
I was like, we'll stick to the main, because you go continuity and Spider-Man. Anyway, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Yuri, for coming on, man. It is a true honor. Anytime I get to talk web slinging with my guest, I've had Josh Keaton on and a few others who've done the great justice that had the power and the responsibility of voicing the greatest superhero of all time. I won't argue it with anybody. It's facts. The greatest superhero ever.
Man, I'll tell you, it made it hard when I got the job, because I mean, I think you'll be able to understand that when I got the job, obviously I was thrilled, but I was also terrified because of that, because he's the one of the big ones, and so I was worried I was gonna fuck it up.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
I mean, great. So you had great responsibility. Did the great power come with it? I'm assuming so, right? I mean,
that phrase has been spoken in a couple of different ways, and I like the earlier sort of in the comic book version. With great power must also come great responsibility.
That's the way.
Because when you say with great power comes great responsibility, it infers that when you get the power, you automatically get the responsibility, and we know that's not true.
It sounds inherent.
You gotta dig for it. Yeah.
One comes with the other, when it's actually you need to have that. Not just, it just comes along with it. No, I love that. It's so good. Yep. And that's the way Stan Lee wrote it. And the man created the Marvel Universe. So, I mean, he would know. All right, let's kick this off like we kick off every interview. We have so much to cover in such a little time. What is your military connection?
My military connection is I never served, but and I'm not counting Army or ROTC in college as by any stretch. I have some members of the military in my family in various branches, but I never served. My dad was in the Foreign Service, which meant that I traveled like a military kid, but obviously a whole different story.
Right.
But I also I'm a big supporter. I don't know if you took a look at some of the work that I've tried to do in the past with post traumatic stress, and we did a documentary series with some vets, the Magnificent Bastards of Ramadi, the 2-4, and it's a it's a passion of mine to normalize post traumatic stress in life, both with vets and as well as with anybody who might suffer post-traumatic stress. And spoiler, it's going to end up being most of us through the course of our life. So yeah, turning it from PTSD, which is disorder, into just post-traumatic stress, which is a normal reaction to an abnormal situation. And the sooner we can all realize that, and not other people who are suffering, which again is going to be you someday, probably, the odds are, in one way or another.
It's
I
so
think
true.
well,
I mean, I have. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no, I was
as a military veteran, I don't hide the fact that I struggle with post traumatic stress and social anxiety and all these things. One of the great reasons about doing a podcast, I get to be at home in my bubble.
Right.
But I've seen it, and I've recognized it not just in service, police and firefighters and those kind of things. But I had a friend who got into a pretty bad car accident and couldn't drive for months, like 9 months, just could not drive. Couldn't get. That's PTS. That you went through something that your brain is trying to scream at you like, no, don't do that again. When it's like, and collectively people need to grasp that concept. So I appreciate you for doing what you do and speaking on it, because it's incredible to have a champion out there helping fight the good fight. So
right on.
That being said,
yes,
this is our get to know you portion. So we want to know, before we talk about the work, I want to get to know about Yuri, man. I did a little digging. I learned the guy born in Ohio and raised in Tennessee and moved around, and where you went to school and these things. When you're at home,
stalking me, basically.
Yeah. Lovely kitchen, by the way. I think the remodel went really well. It was beautiful. You left the shoe out, but that's fine. We'll get to that. So when you are not doing what you do for a living, what is it that you geek out about? Right, we're a pop culture show, so like, what's your thing that you enjoy?
That's my sweet spot, and it's hard to pick just one. I love movies. I love comics. I love TV. I love playing Dungeons and Dragons. I love cartoons, and it's really it's really a lot of the things. I mean, I grew up with all that stuff. I grew up watching anime and Saturday morning cartoons, and playing Dungeons and Dragons, and collecting comic books, and I fell in love with movies, and I've just been this huge movie buff ever since. And it's hard to manage all those things. It's hard to manage all the stuff you love, but we got to do it, right?
I mean, not when you make a career out of it. I mean, my God, you're
okay. Fair enough. That has left me less time. I'll tell you what. Making a career out of it has left me less time to collect comic books, read comic books, and play video games. That's for sure.
Fair enough. And we've already got questions pouring in, guys. Keep them going.
Great.
I have obviously a lot of questions of my own, but I will try to intertwine some from the chats here. So right out the gate, from Angry Elf, it says, so Yuri is a comic fan. Did he read comics as a kid? Who is his favorite superhero?
Oh man, as a comic book kid yourself, Angry Elf, I mean, maybe for some people this is easier than for me. I go through phases where this person's my favorite, and that person's my favorite. And sometimes it depends on who's writing it. Sometimes it depends on who's drawing it. But I like to pull, this one because I mean, recently he's come up, but like for years, for decades, I thought I was the only person who read Moon Knight and who loved Moon Knight, who was basically, Marvel's Batman, for all intents and purposes. And I would have thought, I mean, Batman's so cool that you don't need to dip in, but I've loved, Moon Knight ever since the 80s. So yeah, I mean, I'm a big Moon Knight guy from way back, but I don't define myself with, DC or Marvel or, I love independent comics, and, I mean, there there's good stuff on all sides, and I don't feel we need to limit ourselves.
Right on. Right
So
on.
it's all
I
over the place.
I
Yeah,
get all the time, oh, you're a Marvel fanboy. I'm like, no, good story's good story. Good characters, good
there it is.
character. I mean, it takes a good hero. It takes flaws. It takes villains, right? The quality of the villains makes the hero.
Yeah.
Love interest, all of that. You know, you give me that
Yep.
stuff. I dig I dig your stories. Robert Kirkman's a great writer in Walking Dead and
Yeah.
Invincible and all. The Boys. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
like
Oh my God.
there's such good stuff out there. It's not all Spider-Man and Superman and whatever, but although he's
Sure.
the best,
As
it's fun.
as cool as Spider-Man and Superman are, don't get me wrong.
Oh man, yes. So okay, let's again. You know, I want to get to know you a little better. So, take us back, young Yuri. You know, I love the like. Oh, did you think you were going to be a baseball player when you grow up? Like, what was the thing you wanted to be before you became what you became?
Man, you know, I don't know. When I look back, that there was never a when I was really young, there was never a. I mean, I must have gone through phases. Like I thought, after I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, I'm gonna be like, well, I'm definitely gonna be an archaeologist because look at that job, that's a badass job. Um, and then I'm an Egyptologist, and then you start doing some research, and you're like, oh, it's not all Indiana Jones and Harrison Ford. But fortune and glory, kid, fortune and glory.
It's not
But
all punching Nazis, man. It's just
right,
it's just,
exactly. As
yeah.
much as I wish that were a job that I could get, that's not something. I'll keep trying though. Yeah, but you know, I didn't ever think that I would be an actor. I mean, I got into writing when I was a kid. I used to love to write stories, and I was drawing a lot of pictures, um, and I didn't fall in love with acting till my senior year of high school, and even then, I didn't think it could be a job. Like I probably at that point I was just assuming that I would probably because I speak as you mentioned before, because I speak several languages, and because my dad was in the foreign service, he worked for USAID. I figured I would probably go into the family business, international relations. I'd grown up all over the world, and it just seemed like what I would kind of get into. And in fact, when I left college, I did work in Japan for a couple of years in international relations. But the problem was I'd already been bitten by that acting bug at the end of high school, and it kept coming up. And after 2 years of super bureaucratic work in a Japanese government office, I was like, I gotta go back and try this. The government work will be here if I hate it, if I fail, if I decide that wasn't the right choice. And I never look back.
Man, God, I love those stories.
Yeah, yeah.
The American dream. It's beautiful. I mean, you
know.
kind of grew up like a military brat, just bouncing all over the
Mhm.
place and learning all those things. Although I give you so much credit. I know a lot of military kids that didn't pick up the languages where they went. They just
Fair
stuck to
enough.
the English. So kudos to you. Okay, you got to clear up something for me now because
Sure.
God bless the internet, but your wiki page
Oh my,
says
I have not even gone to visit it recently because, and they don't let you, make changes to your own wiki page. So
I know.
I'm just gonna,
You should, right? But it
go with God.
says that SD Gundam Force was your first English dub for an anime, which I think was like in 2003 or something, somewhere in there.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 2002, 2003 had to be.
But on your IMDb
Correct.
page,
Oh, yes.
but here's the thing. On your IMDb
Okay.
page, it has 1991, Only Yesterday, and Here Is Greenwood. So
I will clear that up for you.
please.
SD Gundam Forces was absolutely the first dub I was cast in. And those other dates come up because I worked on those dubs, but they didn't dub them until the 2000s. So when you look up those shows, they're like, yeah, that was out in 91, but they didn't do the English dub until like 2004.
So they go by the
2003.
original
They go
date
by that.
versus the
Yes.
English dub date. All right, well
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
That clears that up.
Right. I know some people think that I've been doing this a lot longer than I have.
I mean, still,
which,
2003 is not exactly.
once you get past 20 years, you're just let them believe what they
Just
want.
you're just the old vet.
Exactly.
So obviously you got bit by the bug and you start doing all these works. One of your first big hits is you're the prince. You're royalty. You're the Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
2003. Do you remember? I'm just curious because
Yeah.
for every person when they have that big break, that big moment, that big mainstream success,
Mhm.
do you remember if when you're doing the process, like they're like, oh, this is something special. This is something different, or was it just one of all of them?
It was, I mean, it was a little bit of both. I mean, here's the thing about, it feeling like it was going to be big. I felt that on a lot of projects that never go anywhere. Like you feel like, oh, we've got lightning in a bottle here. Like this feels really good. And then it, under the radar for whatever reason. And usually it's not the game's fault or the show's fault. And it has to do with timing and, promotion and merchandise. Like when we did Legion of Superheroes and I played Superman, I was like, that's still one of the best shows I've ever been on. But it went away because it was weird timing and they didn't get the merchandise, sorted out. And so, but, Prince of Persia, I'll always go back to like that. I mean, when we were making it, I felt special about it. But I didn't know, like Helldivers 2 just came out. Like I had fun working on that. So much fun, but did we know it was going to blow up? No, of course not. Sunset Overdrive, the Insomniac game I worked on before Spider-Man, I thought was going to be the biggest game in the history of games. Like I'm like, we've got it. This is it. This is and nothing, So I still love those. I still
Great
carry a
game.
torch
Great game.
for all those. Oh yeah, so great. But yeah, Prince of Persia, I'll always go back to. I'll always love the Prince.
Yeah.
And and I got to play him 3 times over the course of the history of it. But that first one, there was magic there.
Yeah. We before you got on, we were actually I was sharing with the audience because, like I said, I spent some time. I spent a lot of time looking at your work, and I mean, obviously, a tremendous amount of work in the Marvel universe, both Spider-Man and not, the DC universe, Superman, Flash, and others. But work in Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, Battlefield, Halo, Ben 10 obviously is a big one. Last of Us, Need for Speed, Star Wars, Uncharted, Mass Effect, Walking Dead, Titanfall, Final Fantasy, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, both Leo and Michelangelo, Mortal Kombat, Fallout, Resident Evil, Saints Row, BioShock, Metal Gear Solid, GTA 5, Hitman, on and on and on and on and on. So you've worked in like some of the biggest franchises of all time across multiple streams of media. I mean, when you, I mean, obviously we're jumping way ahead, but when you look at the work you've done, like, do you ever take a minute and look back and like, whoa, the road traveled and how far you've come?
I mean, when I do, it still doesn't seem real. Like it doesn't seem that I could be doing this as a job and to have done those things. I mean, yeah, I've loved it, and when I look back, I'm like, holy shit, like but it also still after 20 some years, it doesn't feel real somehow. Like that I wake up and I even on my worst day, I can look in the mirror and go, yeah, but you get to be Spider-Man, still feels like a weird dream that I have yet to wake up from. It doesn't seem possible, like you said, it's the American dream, right? I mean, I didn't like my parents weren't in this, it wasn't like my dad was like, here, I'll just give you some jobs, like I never thought, yeah, growing up playing superhero and reading comic books, I never thought I would, I never thought I'd, like you said, get to say that I was, 2 out of 3 out of 4 actually, because I've also played Donnie in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's
like that's
missed one. Damn it.
like if like see, like I gotta call you on something. So far you've been like,
I'm on
100%.
it. I know.
Yeah, you've done your homework, but yeah, like I don't know, man. It's still so weird.
Yeah, I like at this point, is there a franchise you haven't been in? Is there a bucket list item? I mean, what's left?
So many. I mean, so many. Like there's so many things that I love. Like I mean, I love that, whenever I get a job that is something that I grew up with, that is attached to, either the DC universe, or the Marvel universe, or, Robotech, or like something that that I grew up with, it gets a special little red check next to it. I'm like, it's like extra. Like when I get that, I'm like, yes. But I love so many things. We touched on it earlier, that there will never be an end to the list of things that I wish that I were part of, or projects I wish I could, create, whether that's, movie related or comic book related or, cartoon related. Like there'll never be an end to that. Like there's so much.
Question from this chat.
Yep.
We from Scott. You got to ask him the most important question: who wins in a fight, Superman or Goku? Since you're an anime guy.
Oh, Superman.
Really?
But I'm gonna lay it on the line here and say that I didn't grow up watching DBZ. Like I'm not a huge DBZ guy. But I have played Superman, so I got to go with Superman.
Yeah, and home field. I was going to say home field advantage,
Right.
but bias.
Exactly.
You got that home bias.
Yeah.
Has Yuri played any of the games he's voiced in?
I have played some. I play less these days that I have a 7.5-year-old at home. Although in some ways, because now he's gotten into games, I've started playing more. Like for a while when I was taking care of him, I played less. And now that he's into video games, now it's a father-son thing. And he knows that if he plays with dad, his video game time is worth twice as much. Like that's the rule. Like if he wants to go off and play something on his own, he gets an hour or whatever. But if he plays with dad, he gets 2. So it's the only reason I've got through that first Spider-Man game. I'll be, it's embarrassing, but like if I famously 3%ed the first game and walked away because I'm old and I suck. But once he wanted to start playing it, like I went back to it. We finished that game. We're into the second game. Like
awesome.
I use him as an excuse to play video games and watch.
We're
more
bonding.
Cartoons.
It's father-son time. It's not me wanting to play video games. No, not at all.
Yeah, Dad, it's saying you gotta watch Godzilla versus Biollante.
Yeah,
for you, certainly not for me.
Obviously. Yeah. So somebody wants to know, since you've corrected me, Leo, Donnie, Michelangelo, when you playing Ralph? When
I don't know if I'm angry enough, like in my heart, to play Raphael. I don't. I would love to finish that someday, but people keep coming to me for Mikey these days. So,
yeah.
But I'm not mad at it. So
it can't be. So I don't know, and we're jumping kind of all over the place. You have such a storied career,
feel free
man.
Feel free.
It is crazy. I always like to go chronologically, kind of, but man, there's just so much. You did in 2008. Ben 10. I mean, that's a huge, like, you're Ben, like just like you were the prince. You're Ben. You're Ben of Ben 10. That has had an incredibly long lasting, like I still see people cosplaying as Ben, in the Ben 10 universe. There crossovers with other, cards and games and all these things. I mean, again, when you look at the legacy of this character and what it's meant to so many people, like, how does that affect? Like, what do you feel about that?
I try not to think about it too much because it freaks me out. But I love that, I love it when I get to work on something that's not only fun for me and not only fun for the viewer, but they can find something extra in it. And, it usually happens when, they'll find like a show or a game or a character when they need it in their life. Some people watch Ben 10 and it'll just be fun and they'll move on to the next thing. Sure. And some people will watch, or play, Spider-Man or, watch Gurren Lagann, an anime show that they're still in love with, and they'll find it when they need it the most, and it'll inspire them somehow. And that has little to do with me. It has more to do with the story, the character, and where that person is in their life. And I just love when I can be part of something that also helps people, that they can find strength in, and it makes me feel better about my job. Like, like most of the time I'm like, shouldn't I be building hospitals in Africa or something? I mean, what is my job worth in real life? And when people like at conventions, come up and say, hey man, I just want to let you know, I found Spider-Man in a really dark place in my life and help me get through. And I mean, I remind them that, I wasn't in their living room, for them to cry on my shoulder, like that. They got themselves through that. I mean, you never shortchange yourself for the work that you put in, to get through those tough times. But I love it when I'm part of something that can inspire people, that can give people strength. They can, see the humanity in themselves in the game. And I don't know. Everybody's got a different story, but I love that.
Absolutely. I mean, you touch so many lives in a way that is
Mhm.
so profound sometimes.
Yeah.
I
And I
was
felt silly. I didn't mean, sorry, I will let you go
no,
on.
no, talk.
But I remember going to talk to a bunch of vets one time, and they were like, "Yo, you were in Call of Duty," and I'm like, now I just feel like an asshole because you lived Call of Duty, and I pretended, to get blown up in Call of Duty, and they're like, "No, no, no, we love that game." I'm like, "Come on, man, like, stop fucking with me," And they're like, "No, seriously." But yeah, I mean, those moments are weird because I'm like, I pretend to be heroes, and you're a real hero. But I love that the people have these things.
Absolutely. The connection is real. Even though it's kind of one way, right? Because you are screaming out into the void, and then we're all the
Yep.
ones on the other side, taking it in,
Yeah.
feeling like we know you. We've spent time with you. So tying into that, I was at Awesome Con last weekend, or this last
Oh
weekend.
my God.
I was there. I actually talked to your
Okay.
wife, Tara. She's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Oh.
She took a few minutes to talk to us. You were so busy. I didn't even attempt to come near you. Your line was so ridiculously long. I was like, I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not even gonna bother trying to get in there. And I think that's such a testament to your work, the rabid fan base you've built. Because I mean, I can remember. I'm old enough to remember a time where you didn't know who voiced your favorite characters. You did
Yeah.
the name. Nobody saw the credits, and there were no internets and all these things. So, like you kind of touched on it a little bit, but how crazy are those experiences meeting these people that feel like I know you. I've heard your voice and now I see your face. Like that's got to be intense, huh?
I mean, it is. It is. But that's one of the reasons that I love going to conventions. Because, like you said, when I do my work, I'm alone in a booth, screaming into the void, sometimes quite literally screaming. And conventions are where I get to actually talk to people about how they felt, when they were on the receiving end of that. So I mean, I love it. It is. You're right. It is. There's this weird relationship of somebody who has spent you know, countless, hours with me, and I'm just meeting them for the first time, in a way. And so it's weird, but I'll be honest, I used to go to conventions when I was a kid. Like I used to go to Star Trek conventions and Doctor Who conventions and comic book conventions, and I've been on the other side of that table. And I remember what it was like when people would look me in the eye and listen to me, and I remember what it was like when they wouldn't even look up and they just sign their thing, and then I get moved down the yeah. And so that's why those shows are so exhausting for me because I never want anybody who comes up to see me. Look, I have bad days too. I have days where I didn't sleep well. I got in late, the night before. I didn't sleep well in the hotel, and I show up and I want to be open to whoever's coming. And sometimes I'm just tired, but I never want somebody to walk away going, he doesn't care.
Fuck that guy.
Because I do. Fuck that guy. Exactly. Yuri Lowenthal, fuck that guy. I mean, you know what? Here's the thing. Here's
Spider-Man.
life. There's still going to be people who are going to be fuck that guy. Like I could be the nicest, you know what? You can't
Yeah.
please everyone, nor should you try to. And if everybody loves you, you're probably doing something wrong. I'll be honest with you. And it's taken me till, into my 50s to learn that. But
Yeah.
all those lessons come late.
No, that's true. And I say this, and I don't say this because you're a guest on my show and blowing smoke, whatever. I've probably, I wouldn't say I've been to as many conventions as you have because you do it for a living, but I've been to a lot.
There you go.
And you see those people that like, okay, no offense, it's a job. You're trying to make your nut, you're trying to, whatever. I get it. And they go in, they smile and sign and move on. And then you see these people that are animated and energetic and yeah, come in and like there's a handful I can honestly think of people that I was really impressed just standing there watching. You are absolutely in that group. Another Orlando Jones, great actor.
I've heard he's super fun.
There's so like it's few and far between of people that I was just in GalaxyCon Richmond on literally 2 days ago. Peter Cullen,
wow.
the voice of Optimus Prime, is everything you want him to be. I was standing at his booth and they're like, "Sir, like it's closing time." He's like, "I'm not leaving until I talked to the last person in line.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, you're like 800 years old. You gotta like
Right.
it's time to go.
We don't
And
want you to die here. That would be such a bad
yes,
look
it
for
looks
us.
bad. It's bad press.
Yeah,
But he refused to leave until he had seen every single person in his line, and would not let them cap
bless
the
that
line
man.
either. He wouldn't let them. Every time
Yeah.
they try to like say no more, let him in. And
Yeah.
so it's beautiful to see people that truly appreciate it. And we know, man, like maybe the average person doesn't know, but I've been around in the industry long enough that I know it's exhausting. Because like you said, you're making this real connection to each and every person. And those people are like, oh, I've been in line for an hour, 3 hours, whatever. It's like you've talked to every single person in that line and made attempted a connection. And that's such a beautiful and amazing thing. And I have such respect for people that put the effort. And I swear, I'm getting to a question at some point instead of just gushing. But it's a really powerful thing to see as a fan, as a journalist. I guess you're kind of impressed. Whatever.
You're a journalist. Yeah.
Whatever. It's a day. It's a gig. But anyway, I digress. Spider-Man. We have to take a few minutes to talk about Spider-Man, just because
Let's do it.
the cultural impact. I want people to really appreciate, because obviously Sony's Spider-Man, Insomniac's PlayStation Spider-Man, but you are so much more than that. So much more. Off the top of your head, because I went and counted, how many times, separate properties, do you think you voiced Peter Parker / Spider-Man?
Oh man, I've never actually counted, so I'm gonna
ballpark it.
I'm gonna ballpark it, and you tell me how close I get. 6.
Oh, you're doing yourself an injustice, sir. Oh, no. 15 separate titles. Now, I am counting like Insomniac Spider-Man's appearance in Across the Spider-Verse, right? That's
okay, fair.
Small, but you're there. The voice is there.
Right.
You're there.
And you're counting each game separately?
Each game separately. Each separate appearance. And so this is how much of a nerd I am. 15 times you've been Spider-Man / Peter Parker, not counting when you were in Spider-Man Web of Shadows as Nightcrawler. Or Amazing Spider-Man 1 as additional voices, or the 2017 Spider-Man cartoon when you were the Lizard. Not counting those. Not because you were not Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Right. Okay. Right.
So there's multiple appearances in pinball games. There's like 3 different pinball
Marvel
games.
pinball.
The Venom pinball game. There was obviously Amazing Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2, cartoons. The list is there, man. It is exhaustive. Trust me, I counted. Midnight Suns. That was the other one I was trying to think of. Midnight Suns. You were Spider-Man. Not the same Spider-Man. Different Spider-Man.
Right. Right. Well, I always have to get it different, than like I always go back to Insomniac as my touchstone Spider-Man. You're right. I played Spider-Man before. I've played Spider-Man since, but like the Insomniac Spider-Man is like where
he's the tent pole. He's the tent pole of Spider-Mans. He's the Spideyest of Spider-Man.
The Spideyest of Spider-Man.
What, like, when you are Spider-Man, when you are Peter Parker, and this is you're encapsulating his essence, but then how do you also do the variations? How do you go, well, this one's slightly higher pitched and this one's bulkier? Like, how do you vary the Spider-Man?
It's, it depends. I'll work with the team, whoever's working on it. I trust that the writing and the story and whatever sort of universe we're in will inform a different Spider-Man. I mean, I keep going back to the Insomniac one because, big ups to every, property where I've played Spider-Man, but like the writing, the storytelling in it is just peak for me. And that's why I think that Spider-Man is so Spider-Man-y, for me. But the writing informs it. Like Midnight Suns, the dialogue is so great. Like it's so funny, and it's a younger Peter Parker. He's, again, and Insomniac, took a different turn for some of that. they took the stories and then they sort of twisted them into what they want, the story that they wanted to do. So each of these Spider-Mans has lived a different Spider-Man life. They've had, sometimes sometimes it's I mean, all their backgrounds are the same, or
Sure.
the origin story is the same, but all their paths are slightly different, and it informs a different Spider-Man. And I like to do that. I like to sort of keep them separate, so you get different flavors of Spider-Man.
Oh,
Like
that's I
it's
mean
like ice. It's like 31 flavors. Like
that
like the
you
Baskin. I'm the Baskin Robbins server of Spider-Man. How about that? I've never looked at it that way before.
you could have did all the Spider-Verse voices yourself. It's just Yuri Lowenthal presents across the Spider-Verse, and it's just all the variations of
Oh
Spider-Man.
man,
Um,
oh, it was so great.
when
Those movies are so good.
and I feel like it's not appropriate to say like, wow, with Insomniac Spider-Man, Spider-Man's in the front, because we've had 3 iterations of live action, we've had multiple animated movies, multiple cartoons, um, but with Insomniac Spider-Man and it's obviously one of the biggest selling PlayStation games of all time, fastest selling PlayStation games of all time. It is a resurgence of the character. I mean, does that ever like cross your mind that like again, I keep coming back to this that the
Yeah.
biggest franchises, most selling Helldivers again as an example of
Yeah.
just like is there a success? Do they have to check Yuri Lowenthal's in it and then okay, we know it's going to be a success? Is that how it works?
No, I don't think. I mean, I'm in plenty of flops too, or games that are great but nobody buys. Um, yeah, no, I mean, I certainly don't assure success to any property. Um,
Fair enough.
but it's no. I mean, it's funny sometimes people will say, who did you base your Peter Parker off of, your Spider-Man? And like I never thought, hey, I'm gonna base it off of, like Toby was always my guy, but I didn't base it off of any one, Spider-Man that I grew up with. But it would be, I'd be lying if I said, oh, I'm completely uninfluenced by any Spider-Man that came before me. They're all in me.
Of course.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. But no, that casting me in a game is far from assuring that game's success.
I mean, for fair point in that like Midnight Suns, I feel like got a really bad rap. Um,
Mm.
Whatever it is, didn't connect with the audience because of the style of gameplay, the marketing, whatever it
Sure.
was. I played it, I enjoyed it. Is it my typical type of game? No, it's not. But I'm
Right.
always looking
But
for
you like superheroes.
yeah,
You like
I'm
Marvel
looking
Comics.
for the experience of the writing, the story. Did I enjoy myself? And it really does, like the characters, how they interact, and all these things. And again, I feel like that's a game that got a bad rap, but I enjoyed it. How the hell? I bought
Yeah.
it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Is there any, speaking about that, like, are there any, I don't want to say flops. I feel like that's such a hard
Yeah. Yeah.
are there any properties that or things that you've done where you're like, man, like I know this was great if people just gave it a chance, or I wish they would just go
Right.
back and check it out. What should we go back into your discography and look for?
I mean, we talked about Sunset Overdrive, obviously, and I keep hoping, they're sick and tired over at Insomniac of me begging for them to port it to, because it was an Xbox One exclusive,
Yep.
and they did port to PC, but there's never been a PlayStation version. I'm like, please, I think this game could find its audience now, but I'm not in charge. Um, there's a game that came out earlier this year called American Arcadia that I loved playing. And, I mean, I loved working on, and there is an audience. The people who I know who have played it have loved it, but it's not a big game company, and so they haven't had quite the advertising push that some games have. Um, there's a there are a couple things that I had a hand in creating that are not games, that were more web series. One is called Orbital Redux, where I play a disgraced astronaut, and we performed it all live. Like we shot it live. So each week was like a play, and all the visual effects, everything was all done practical, and the music was performed by a band on the stage, performing right next to where we were. Like, I mean, it was nuts. You can still find it on YouTube. I wish that had found its audience, but it was on a weird platform at the time. Then the platform went away. And we have a web series that my wife and I created years ago called Shelf Life, and it's like fucked up Toy Story. It's a live action series about action figures on a shelf, on a kid's shelf, and the shenanigans they get up to. But it's super fun. Also, YouTube is forever.
I'm a link to all of this. So
good.
we're gonna find it. We're gonna get some views on those things, man. Because I'm excited that you're selling it great. I can't wait.
Good. Okay. Good. Yeah. I mean, there are little things here and there that, but yeah. You never know. You never know why people connect with a game or a show or whatever, and they don't. I talked about earlier. Gurren Lagann is well beloved in its own sort of core group anime, but like it's still to this day, it's 26 episodes. You've got all these the One Pieces and the Naruto's out there that you get or like a deep hole. Gurren Lagann is like one of the best shows. It's 26 episodes. You can get in and out. It's what I always recommend to people when they're like, "Do you have an anime recommendation?" I'm like, that.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
There you go.
Forever.
No, that's awesome. That's exactly what we need. Okay, so one more question from the audience here says, how difficult / easy is it to get into the game industry, especially for writing? And what would your advice in that process be?
Oh man, because I don't do that, I don't know exactly. Like I wouldn't know exactly what to tell you. But I know Insomniac is a great company to work for, and they take. I mean, a lot of these places, have internships and are very open to hiring people from outside. I mean, I just hone your writing chops, find out what you can about writing for games because it is different than writing for film or TV or stage. But at at the core, storytelling, it's the same with acting. People are like, what do you like more? Do you like acting on stage or doing film, TV, or video games, voiceover? And like each part feeds me differently, but and each has its own techniques. But at the core, it's the same thing. No matter what you're doing, and writing is the same. I mean, get just practice. Write a whole bunch of terrible shit. There's my advice. Write a whole bunch of bad stuff. Just write it fast and get it out. Because the only way to get better is just to write a bunch of bad shit. And then you just get a little better and a little better, and you take a little bit from that, and you go on. But you got to get through that to get to the good stuff. But we always paralyze ourselves. We're always afraid to write something bad, And I'm still, I still get caught up in that. And I gotta remind myself that you just gotta write. Just gotta get it out. So get it out, and then contact the companies that you like the way they tell stories in games, and see what the internship options are, or what how they hire people. Without being a game writer myself, that's what I'd recommend.
Perfect, spot on. We always talk about paralysis of analysis, or analysis paralysis, where you're like, oh, it's gotta be perfect, and then you're just stuck. And when we talk about podcasting, like, don't go back and watch the first couple episodes; they are not good. So you gotta just do it and get better at it. So I'd also say maybe look for smaller indie companies that are maybe don't jump straight into AAA. Insomniac Spider-Man. Start small. Okay, we're running short on time, and I'm going to keep you out of here on time. We talked about convention experiences, and I'm always fascinated by this question, which is, and I got because you gotta be careful. Like, I assume that you meet a lot of different type of people, and there's always going to be those experiences that are outside the norm. I'm just wondering if there's any crazy fan experiences you've had that you can share about.
I mean, I've touched on some of it. People saying how how a thing affected them. Which is always so amazing to hear, because everybody's got their own personal story about how something impacted them. I mean, like I've signed some weird things, but mostly people. I mean, sometimes people don't get the social cue that there are a whole bunch of people behind them, and there could be some awkward moments. Like I mean, like what we were talking about before. Like I hate saying, "Hey, look, I gotta get to the
Time's
next
up.
person. I'm so sorry. I'd love to, yeah, I'd love to keep talking with you, but we look at all these people. I want to talk to all of them, and I don't want them to cut off the line, and I don't want them to, start blinking the lights and tell us to get out. Um, but mostly people are just fucking awesome. When they come up. I mean, they talk about you know melting pots or inclusivity or whatever. Like I've never seen a better like group of people who are unified in just what they love, and it doesn't matter where they're from or how much money they have or what color their skin is or what religion they are. I see everybody at the convention, and that's beautiful. um you know i I love it. I love what our community does, to bring things together. If we could somehow apply that to the entire world right now, I would do it. But I I've 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 really only had good experiences, some awkward experiences here and there,
Sure.
but I've never had anything super weird or really bad. I mean, usually it's just people that get nervous and they say things like, well, you're my 10th favorite voice actor. And that's like a compliment. Or you sucked in this or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know why you waited in line 2 hours to tell me that, but I
You
mean,
never, you
that's
ever get like,
you know
oh, you're my hall pass, you know?
right, exactly.
Like,
But yeah, it's good stuff. Like it's all magic.
it's true, man. You like so I said about it earlier, and I've said this before that like I deal with post traumatic stress and social anxiety. I don't like crowds. I don't like being,
Yeah.
but yet I can go to a convention and I feel the most at home, the most comfortable, the most relaxed that I feel anywhere. And
That's
it's
amazing.
it's
I
incredible.
love that.
It's incredible. And I sat there. I was at GalaxyCon and I after a while, walking around, I sat down and I'm just looking at people and I'm like, why am I not on edge? Why am I not
Yeah.
uncomfortable? Why am I just able to relax? And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm where I belong. And it's you're so spot on in that it's a snapshot of society. It's a snapshot of the melting pot that we are. And somebody put in the chats about like, it's amazing how well we can get along when we're not talking about politics and things. And like it's
Right.
everybody it's a place where we get to celebrate that everybody has a thing that they're into. I got a
Yeah.
dude in a furry suit. I see a little boy in a dress. I see
Yeah.
a lady with cat ears and a girl in a Batman suit and a guy in a Catwoman suit. Like it doesn't matter. Just everybody's just
Yeah.
having a good time. They're just doing
I
them.
want. I wonder if it's like a shared experience thing. Like everybody is there because they love these things. Everybody's got opinions,
Sure.
but it's different. It's like on the internet. It's slightly different than when you're in person. People can shit on the TV show that they thought was not a great adaptation of the comic book they loved, and they want to they say they want to murder the creators or whatever. But that doesn't happen so much at conventions. And it's funny because this is I've never really thought about it this way before, but because we've been talking about it, the shared experience and putting you at ease and helping with your post-traumatic stress. We didn't come up with any silver bullets to how to deal with post-traumatic stress when I was working with those vets on that documentary. But I will say, like, the thing that everybody agreed on that helped, like so many things they've tried don't help, and the thing that helped was hanging out with people who have been through the same thing and
Mhm.
being able to talk about it, being able to meet up. Like I think if the VA could spend their money less on drugs and more on plane tickets, so that brothers and sisters can hang out
Reunions.
more
Yeah.
and talk about stuff. You have to do reunions. I think it would work better. Like, and maybe that's the convention too. Like we're all there to for that shared experience and to talk about the thing that we love, and that the how our experiences are alike as opposed to how they're different, and how it's not about isolation, it's about connection. I don't know.
Yeah, inclusivity
Yeah.
and all, like you said,
Yeah.
sharing that same passion and love. And I see people, not paying attention, slamming into each other, and both going like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Like not this like, hey, you bumped into me that you tend to get in like on the street or anything. It's everybody's just it doesn't matter size, shape, gender, like it.
Yeah.
Everybody just I love it. I love it. It's few and far between when you see somebody get into a fight or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I want a couple more questions here.
Yeah.
Obviously, again, doing a lot of conventions. There are a lot of stars at these things, and you're one of the guys, and you get in the green rooms. What's your starstruck moment? Who is that person that you saw and you're just like, oh my god, and
I'll tell you,
geek out on?
It's tough because I'll be back in the green room, and sometimes they put the voice actors in a separate green room because but usually we're all in the same place. It's funny because I try to let it happen naturally, and sometimes it doesn't. Like I never want to force anything like that, even in the green room, even when you're like, we're all back here because we're doing the same thing. Like I'm afraid to go up to certain people, and usually afterwards I'll say, yeah, there was a person I want to talk to him. They're like, oh my god, he's so nice, you should have gone up to talk to him. But I've met some some amazing people, and I've come away with some some amazing friendships from these things too. Sometimes, I'll go back to that. One of my favorite ones was Aaron Douglas from Battlestar Galactica. He played Chief on Battlestar Galactica, and we met at a convention, and all I knew him from was that, like, it was I went up to just tell him how much I liked his work, and we ended up becoming friends, and we're still friends all these many years later. That happens sometimes, most of the time I just sort of sit back and just giggle like a little girl, like, oh, look. And sometimes I'll.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I cut you
No,
off.
Sometimes I'll tell my agent, he'll be like, okay, who's your one this show? And I'm like, okay, if you can get me in the same, if you can somehow make this happen, this meetup happen, I want to meet Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows.
Harvey Guillen?
Yeah, like he's my guy this time. If you can make that happen, you know what I mean?
It's awesome.
There's always that though.
Hey man, what are you paying these people for, man? They should be making that happen. That's their job.
Right? Exactly. That's where you get your 10%.
I was gonna say that you do like the fan thing of where like I'm gonna take a selfie of me, but they're in the background, like we were like right here, Let's see. Really quick because I know we're out of time, but the martial artist thing, where did that come from? How'd you get into that? Why'd you get into that?
My dad used to do Taekwondo, and so I started doing it. I started actually when I was living in West Africa, and he was training with this Korean instructor who also trained the police. And I grew up watching kung fu movies and stuff like who doesn't want to do that? And so I got into Taekwondo and did Taekwondo for many years before realizing that it wasn't what I was looking for. And then I found Shaolin Kempo, which was a little closer. It was less punchy kicky, and it was a little rounder. And then I finally found Wushu Kung Fu, and that was like I should have known from growing up watching kung fu movies, that's really what I wanted. And I studied that for a while, then moved out to Los Angeles and couldn't find a place that I liked the teacher or the school. And so for years didn't do anything. And then my son was born, and I'm like, when he gets old enough, I'm gonna get him into martial arts. And so I did, and we found a kung fu school that is great. And he started training, and after a while I was like, I was like, Shifu, can I just train with the kids? And so now I'm like back to it. I'm like in my 50s going back to kung fu, hurting myself all the time because I still think I'm in my 20s. But it's fun, and it's a little more relaxed. Like I was always trying to prove something to somebody and myself, whatever, back in the day. And now I'm just like, if I get through the class, I feel good.
You're doing it right, man. You're doing it right. That's all I can say. Is there anything we haven't touched on at this point? A lot of people just giving you big kudos and shout outs and love in the chat. So I'm not gonna stop the show to tell he says you are awesome. But you get a lot of love, man. You get a lot of love.
Thank you. Well, maybe we'll have to come back. Maybe we'll have to do part 2.
Absolutely. Oh, we'd love to. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more in your future that we're going to have to talk about. Last thing I'll say is I did get to talk to your incredible wife, who is also an accomplished voice actress, who also has to come on this show and get her you get the baby duty, and she gets to get the
And
moment
we'll trade.
in the spotlight. And we talked to her, and we shot a little thing with her, and she was incredible. I can only imagine the joy and also the havoc being in the same industry, sharing the recording booth. That's got to be a bit of a challenge, huh?
A little bit, but it's also nice because we've got a shorthand. Like I don't ever have to explain anything to her. She gets it, which is nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's it's beautiful. All right. With that, I want to give you the last little bit here. Where can people follow you on social media? What do you have coming up? What do you want people to go look out and find?
I mean, I try to stay off social media as much as possible, but I fail miserably like most of us. I'm most easily stalked on Twitter, and I have an Instagram account. They're both at Yuri Lowenthal, and I talk about what's going on. So that's tune in there to find out what you should be looking out for.
Any tease for stuff that's coming out soon? I mean, I know you got Spider-Man 2's out there. I know Helldivers 2 is out there.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 just came out. Yeah, look for Johnny. He's my favorite himbo.
Awesome.
He is our favorite bro.
Awesome. And with that, I will give you the last few seconds here. If you want to speak directly to the audience, say your piece, and then we will toss to a break.
Oh man. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for loving what you love. And for the vets out there, thank you for your service. And just talk about stuff, man. Like I said before, that's what we found was always the best is talking about it. So I know there are lots of things you can do out there, and I'm not up to date on all of them, but there are resources.
Absolutely. That's part of our job is we give them infotainment, right? We entertain them, and then we also slide in a little bit of info there for them. But everybody, this has been the incredible Yuri Lowenthal. Go play the games. You know him. You've played with him. That sounds terrible, but you've played with his voice.
Terrible but true.
All right, guys, we're gonna take it to a short break, and we'll be back with more show right after this. Yuri Lowenthal, everybody. Shots.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, you there? Yeah, it is right, you. Let me ask you something, right? Where the hell do you think that you're going? Oh, would you think because the show's going to commercial that means you get to just walk away? Well, CQ asked me to pass on the little message, alright? And it says, I'll be back.
After all I've done, do you love me now? Do you love me now? After all I've said, running through your head, do you love me now? Do you love me told you everything, I bet you cry and run away. 'Cause with all the lies I keep, made you believe this was me. The truth is I am not at all who I preach myself to be. And I deserve to be alone, and I'm alone here with me.
You're watching Pop Culture Warrior. The Force is strong. They have the high ground.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Let's bring on our co-host of the evening, Angry Elf, everybody. Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, man. How awesome was Spider-Man? I mean, Yuri Lowenthal.
Dude,
Ladies and gentlemen.
I will tell you this. Walking around my room here, just listening, not looking at it, all I heard was Peter Parker. It was so weird. All I heard was Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, dude, because voice actors sometimes put a twist or a spin
Sure.
or depending on the character, but Yuri must use basically his natural voice, maybe put a little twist on it, but his natural voice for when he does Peter.
Yeah, a
It's
slight
awesome.
variation here and there, and I'm sure too audio equipment, right? They can make it go higher,
Sure.
lower, adjust it,
Sure.
but it's close. Like just as an example, Peter Cullen, I talked to him for a while, and he doesn't naturally have this voice. Like he has to drop it down to
Right.
get it to that Optimus level. Otherwise, talks like a normal person, not like a giant truck. But talking to Yuri, I hear it too. Where you're like, yeah, I can hear it. I can like. I almost was like, I wanted to like say, look out, it's Venom or like something, something. But Yuri was awesome. What an awesome guy. Just a blast to talk with.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, we could talk for hours. I mean, God bless him. And I really wanted to keep his time tight. He's got a young child and a wife, he has to, co-parent with and share those responsibilities. So,
and we both, the two of us, understand how that game is played.
Yes. I to have the time to do this show, I have to make up for it on other days and times. So we appreciate him taking the time and just being so awesome. Cause, like I said, I really say this not trying to blow smoke because I know that it could kind of come off as that way, but like I watched him interacting with the fans and you can tell. And again, there are people going to have good days and bad days. Perfect example. So Steve Burns, who was the guy who Steve was from Blue's Clues,
right?
Had a massive line just the whole weekend.
Oh, I bet.
And really connect, like you could see, like it was like his heart was like reaching out and touching each and every person that was in his line.
Yeah.
And I happened to talk to him it was Sunday afternoon, 3 full days of him doing this. And like he was like dead behind the eyes.
Oh, I bet.
Not because like, oh, I don't want to be here. Just he was you can tell when someone's emotionally exhausted.
Yeah.
There was just nothing left in him. And those are the kind of people that just they put it all out there. And I have all the respect in the world for those type of people because you will see the other. I mean, go to a convention, you'll see the other kind of people where they're like, next, who's that? Amanda. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
And then like that's that. I shared that story last week about watching Orlando Jones, and I never saw him behind his table. He only was in front of it on his feet, meeting bringing everyone into him, and like just watch like he would. He's a pretty tall guy, but he would like lean into people and like. Hugs and selfies and like just man, I was like, wow, like way to really get in there, man. It was really nice to see. It was really nice to see. And then you could just tell the people that just are very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. Oh man. But yeah. Anyway. Thank you everybody for participating, and we got a bunch of great questions in there. And hopefully I got everyone. Hopefully I got every question. Since we yes. I got this one from Politically Incorrect. I went to a convention here. Tends to be left orientated, and I surprisingly loved the conversations and spectacular experiences. People were super friendly, and the socialization was top notch. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I I I can't stress this enough, and I didn't want to waste his time to hit on
Right.
this, but he's dead on in that connecting. I make no bones about it. I go to a support group. I go to a support group for
Mhm.
disabled vets, and we talk about our shit and what's going on in our lives, and it's a big reason I'm doing okay. Whether if you
Right.
need medication, take medication. If you need therapy, do therapy. But getting to go to conventions, doing the support group, connecting with my brothers and sisters in arms, having a show where I can bring on my friends and all that
Yeah.
is what helps keep me in a great mindset. Even when I get questions like, "Are y'all gay?" and things like that in the chats, doesn't bother me. Doesn't I don't sweat it because I'm having a blast. I'm enjoying this. I'm spending time with my friends and the people out there watching and participating and enjoying it as well. It means the world to me. So he was spot on with that stuff. But
Some of those questions could be coming from bots, and that means you've hit the big time that the bots are hitting you. I
yes,
mean, only the highest quality of celebrities get bots.
yes. I do get hit on by many bots. I've been offered many a nudes by people, and I'm very big. I'm kind of a big deal.
You are a big deal.
Someone had put in the chats earlier, be an Asian female for a day or two. And God bless him. I know it was coming from a literal place, but my brain just goes like, I could cosplay as an Asian female. What the hell, But I know she was coming from a very real place of like, it's not always easy to be there. Heath wants to know, are y'all vegan? No, I love me some meat.
Yes.
Man, a good smoked sausage. I'll put
Yeah.
that in my mouth any day. Any
2
day.
feet. I don't go for no foot long. No, it's got to be 2 feet
Yeah,
long.
dude,
Give me that jumbo, and it's got to go with the girth too.
Yeah, it's the girth. It's for me. It's not about the length. It's about the girth. You want a real thick sausage. You don't want none of this
juicy too.
Yeah,
Juicy.
the
I like.
Nathans,
Oh,
they're all
I
like,
like it everywhere.
yeah,
Yeah, I like to have to go clean up after eating a
yeah,
good sausage.
yeah. If you don't bite into it, and there's just you're just drenched,
Ugh.
just drippings, like you're just not doing it right.
And they wonder why.
Question: any idea when Yuri might show up? I hate to be the bearer of bad news. You're gonna have to watch the replay because Yuri just left. We did an hour with him, an hour and a bit more. So you just missed Yuri.
Yuri has left the room.
Luckily for you, we're gonna end this very shortly, this live video, and then you can go back and watch it. It'll be there. So thanks for playing. I don't know. Thank you for coming. You missed him by yay much. But that being said, we are going to close up shop for tonight. We've had a great time.
Yes.
Just a lot of fun. Just a little housekeeping. Obviously, next week, more Pop Culture Warrior. Not next week, the week after. We've got Orlando Jones joining us.
Nice.
He's legend of act. I mean, just has been in a billion things, starting all the way back in like Mad TV to a bunch of stuff.
He was what was that silly cartoon he did? The cartoon movie, Osmosis something.
Osmosis Jones.
Was it Osmosis Jones?
Was that it? It might have been.
Yeah.
Hey, let's real quick. What the hell? We got a couple minutes to kill here. Orlando.
Get on that. Get on that IMDb.
Let's bring up the IMDb of Orlando Jones, which this dude is a legend. Let's see. Known for Evolution,
Yes.
The Replacements. That I loved him in The Replacements. The guy who couldn't catch, right? Isn't he?
Yes.
Like the Butterfingers.
Yes.
He was in the Time Machine. He was the AI.
Yes, in the Time
AI
Machine,
bot in
yes.
the Time Machine. He's in. Let's see what else. Man, he's in Jesus Christ. He's in Abbott Elementary. He did 2 episodes of Abbott Elementary. American Gods. He's in 10 episodes of American Gods, which is a big one right now. He did 31 episodes of Sleepy Hollow. Let's see what else. Man, there's a long list of things he's done. He was in an episode of House. Check that shit. I don't remember him in House, but he was in an episode.
I've seen every episode.
Episodes of Mad TV. My God, that's a long run.
That's like what, 3 seasons?
That's 43 episodes. Well, depending on how many episodes per season. But Mad TV ran from 95 to 2007. It ran for like 13 years. Not saying he was in all 13 years, but
yeah, I didn't realize it ran that long.
Mad TV ran for a long time. He was a Marine sergeant in Halo 2. He was the voice in the video game. he's in Halo 2. He's in Drumline, Time Machine, Bedazzled. That's right. He was in Bedazzled. Remember with Brendan Fraser? He was one of Brendan Fraser's friends. Him and that other guy. What's his name? Oh, God.
Which one is Bedazzled? Is that the one where the
Brendan Fraser, Elizabeth Hurley? She's the devil, and she grants bad wishes. Yeah. Man. That's a good one. I just watched it with my wife. She had never seen it, and I was like, oh, I like that movie. I thought it was very fun. But yeah, so yeah, absolutely, man. I'm looking. That's gonna be a fun one. That's gonna be a fun show.
Yeah.
He's incredible. He was incredible to watch in person. Outside of that, oh yeah, we're doing the Friday things. Lately we've been doing game nights. We did the Lego build. This guy, the Lego build. Whoop. Let's get him on camera. Oh my God, it's heavier than you think. My Spider-Man, Lego Spider-Man. Should have got Yuri to sign him.
That would have been a little bit difficult, over the interwebs.
Just fax your autograph over here. Yeah, so I don't know what we're gonna do this Friday. I'm gonna figure. I might just game. I might just stream myself gaming.
What are you gonna play?
I have no idea. Right now, I'm in between like 5 different games. One of them. This interview got me excited. I went back and I started Midnight Suns again. So I've been playing Midnight Suns.
That's a card turn-based type game, right?
Yes, on its face it is, but that's why I think it didn't land with audiences, because it didn't promote itself well, because it's story based. There's a lot like, yes, the combat itself is card based, but it's hard to explain. The cards are what give you the attack abilities, but it's still a 3D fighter. There's still world exploration. There's still, you have to manage trainings. You have to, you build relationship with characters and all these things. You customize, these suits, and you forge materials, and like there's a lot of story elements to it and exploration elements to it. But yes, the specific combat element of it is card based.
That's what on the surface was like. There were a couple of times where I was like hovering over by, and then I was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, if I'll be honest, it was on sale for like $15. So it was a good deal for $15, and it made me want to. And really, he nails it as Spider-Man. I'm gonna upset people, but I prefer the Midnight Sun Spider-Man over Insomniac Spider-Man. If you can't tell me, if you haven't played it, if you haven't seen it, you can't tell me I'm wrong. Watch videos of YouTube videos, and you'll see that I do like the Midnight Sun Spider-Man.
You don't know Yuri Spider-Man until you have fought Yuri Spider-Man while he is being possessed by the symbiote, and you're forced to beat him down as Miles. The drama, the agony of beating your mentor down because he's taken over by the symbiote. Every agonizing moment, I felt it in my core.
I stand by what I said.
Yeah.
I stand by my
Yeah.
statement. But yeah, so I'm playing that. I'm playing Madden. I'm playing this is a game called. There's a game that is such a ripoff of BioShock that it's laughable. It's called. Shit, it's on Game Pass. I forgot what the hell it's called, but
And you can't, it's so, rememberable that you can't even remember it.
it's BioShock. It's basically BioShock and everything other than the name. Because like you have to take a ship to the except instead of it being underwater, it's a floating it's a boat that's like a city. So it's this boat that like all these scientists escape to so that they could live in this utopia, and then you have to go into it and whoop, surprise, they're all killers and crazy and something's taken over. The only element of it that's kind of not BioShock, and I say kind of because there is, depending on which one you're playing, it's a little timey-wimey in the sense of like things are kind of happening because of like some particle accelerator explosion. Things are happening both in the past and in the future and at the present, all kind of at the same time. But it's all just utopia. It is like Nikola Tesla was the guy that created this, and it's supposed to be scientific utopia, but they're all killing, and so you have to get power-ups and things to defend yourself, and it's fucking BioShock is what it is.
You know what you should do for your Friday night gaming? You should start a new game you haven't been playing. And then so let's say that every 4 weeks you come back and you do CQ's video game playthrough, and you play that game while you stream. So like maybe, have you played RoboCop?
I haven't played RoboCop yet. No.
Do you have RoboCop?
I haven't picked it up yet.
All I'm saying is that would be a suggestion. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying maybe you should pick up a game you haven't played yet.
A suggestion is literally you saying is something I should do. That's literally the definition of a suggestion.
But you don't have to do what I tell you to do.
That's why it's a suggestion and not a command.
Or better yet, throw it out there. And today's Tuesday. You're talking about doing it Friday night. So we could do a poll. Do a poll. Throw it up there tomorrow morning, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, through end the poll at 5 o'clock. Give you enough time.
We all know how much you like doing polls, right?
Yeah, I do like polls. I like riding polls and I like dancing on polls.
Red Faction Guerrilla. That's the record. I played Red Faction Guerrilla. That was a great game. I really don't feel like it found it was. I remember it being successful, but not uber successful where they made sequels and stuff. But that was a good one. Red Faction Guerrilla was a good one.
Was Man Eater on Xbox? The
shark
game?
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I beat that.
Did you? Oh, my daughter and I love that game.
Where you start out as a tiny little guppy in the pond, and then you slowly get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, you start off in the swamp, but then eventually you level up to some ridiculously powerful megalodon,
ultra megalodon, and whatnot.
Yeah, and you can nuclear blast orcas and all this stuff. Yeah, we played that. I like that game.
Yeah. No, I remember. Yeah. Politically incorrect. I love that name, by the way. No, yeah, I definitely played Red Faction Guerrilla. That was a good one. I don't know. The problem is trying to think what I would, because things that I want to play, I've already played. But yeah, maybe RoboCop or something like that could work. I'm trying to think because I don't know what's better. What's more compelling streaming? Is it something that's strategy? Is it a shooter? Is it what's more compelling? Because if I'm sitting there and watching and then just kind of responding to the chats, what are people? Maybe I can fucking play Monopoly online. Like you know what I mean? But I don't know what's compelling.
Or go dig through the archives of Xbox and get something that's from back in the day to play through. There's another
No.
one. Speaking of Spider-Man, what about Web of Shadows? You mentioned it earlier.
The
you
one
already
where he
played
didn't voice Spider-Man. He was
Yeah,
Nightcrawler in that one.
but Web of Shadows, that was a pretty
That's a
good
good
one.
one. Dude, I still say one of my all-time favorites was Shattered Dimensions. That was a great one.
Oh yeah, the one Shattered Dimensions. Was that the one where you had 4 different Spider-Men?
Yep, different universe
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man Noir,
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2099, Ultimate Spider-Man, and then your classic. Or with the black suit. Ultimate with the black suit, and then your classic Spider-Man.
You know which one I liked was Ultimate Spider-Man. Did you play Ultimate Spider-Man?
I feel like there was multiple ones of Ultimate Spider-Man.
I don't know if there was I don't remember a sequel, but I remember playing the original one.
Yeah.
But you get to play as Venom for a while, but it was like loosely canonical with the comics.
Right.
And you got to play as Venom for a little bit in the game too.
I'm trying to think, what's a game? Because I mean, there's always like the choice game, like almost like the Walking Dead Telltale series, where like could have went left, could have went right,
There's plenty of those. There's
Yeah.
Walking Dead. There's Guardians of the Galaxy. There's actually Telltale did 2 Batman games.
Yeah, yep. The one, the one with the Joker, that one was weird. That one was weird.
Because you could there was supposedly like 2 outcomes of it. You could have the Joker end up becoming a good guy. You could end up having the Joker be the Joker, and
that was weird. That was weird.
I played through both of them.
Yeah, I played through it, and he became. I guess I did this stuff to make him become a hero, and that was but it was so weird. It was very uncomfortable to watch. Just the whole thing was uncomfortable from the get. But no. No, I like that. I like the idea. I'll give it some thought. Because I think of like strategy games like Magic the Gathering, online where you're building a deck and attacking and whatnot, or more story based and exploration based. But I feel like something that doesn't require so much of my attention, right? Because if I'm playing like Madden or a fighting game where you have to be dialed in, you're not engaging with the audience and doing all those things. Whereas something that's turn based or something that's just kind of like wandering around can be a little bit more I don't know, easier to navigate the situation or whatever. I don't know. I'll give it some thought.
Yeah.
If you guys have ideas out there, let me know. Reach out. But all right, with that, we're going to start shutting things down here. Quick shout out to the rest of WTF Nation Radio. Let's bring up that beautiful graphic. Show that beautiful bean footage. Sunday nights, we've got the Sports Bar. That's with King and Coach. If you want to hear what's going on in the sports world, that's where you want to be. And by the way, all shows start at 8 p.m. Eastern, so you can't miss a day. Monday night is news, commentary, and discussion on the Monday edition. If you want to know what's going on in the world, that's where you'll be, and that's where you'll know. Tuesdays right here with CQ and guest and co-host. Usually Mad Mike, but when he's not around, we get blessed with Angry Elf. He blesses us with his appearance. Wednesday nights, you got the Smoke Pit. That's Radar and TZ, and they're bringing you all that. I love to say that's your E4 Mafia. That's your lower enlisted. That's the hangout spot. Thursdays, Sergeant's Time with Ice and Pookie. No, Ice and Spanky. Ice and Spanky or Sergeant's Time Thursday. That's your higher enlisted, right? That's your NCOs and above. That's your Army military news, what's going on in the military. And then Fridays, you got Friday Night Freedom with Kaz and Pookie. And that's your catch-all. That's the Swiss Army knife of shows. That's where you go to just let it all hang out. And let's see. Oh, did I say Monday Night Issues? Ice and Massey. That's Ice and Massey. Didn't say who was hosting. But alrighty. Ladies and germs, thank you so much for tuning in. This was a fun one.
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed talking with Yuri, and in the first hour we didn't cover a single damn news story, but that's okay because we hung out, we had a good time.
Yes.
Enjoyed gossiping with y'all.
Next week,
yeah,
you and the Crown Eater can catch up on all that fun stuff.
Yes, we won't have a convention to talk about, and
No,
the tea
no.
to spill. I won't have any tea to spill, but hopefully, I got all these business cards and I got all this information, and it's going to lead to some great giveaways, some great corporate partners, some great guests.
I want my tactical fanny pack.
Yes, and one more time, if you the old this. I got to be careful what I say. I ain't trying to get canceled, but it has a look about it. But I can tell you, it's incredible. It's my new favorite thing.
They've got a website. Do they have a website?
I would imagine so. Yes, they do.
Ooh, throw the website up on the socials. I want to look at it. Maybe I'll buy something.
I will send it to you.
Okay.
Separately.
Sure.
Because I want to negotiate a deal with them before I publicly
sure, slide into my DMs, please.
Yes. But also, I'll try to get a discount code. You know what I mean? Like before anybody orders anything. That's why I want to negotiate with them. Obviously I want to get some free product I can give away, and then also get like a discount code for listeners to be able to use to get some gear at a good price. Cause I'll be honest, this ain't for the cheap. This ain't Walmart brand, bro. This is
10% free shipping,
made in the USA. Maybe I negotiate them and get some free shipping. I don't know. That's what I got to talk to the business. Like it's literally a small business. It's only like 3 of them, I think, 3 or 4 people total in the business. But hear me. Captain Wayne, hear me out. Triple layer Oreos with different flavors. I mean, I'm not opposed.
Triple flavors. What flavors are we talking about?
I mean, it was. I mean, you know the thing that people do, like, that they were trying to push was like the Pringle flavors, where you were like stack, like, I like to mix this with this, and it makes like a hamburger, and I'm like, that is the most desperate type of marketing I've ever seen. But something along those lines where you're like, it's vanilla on the bottom and chocolate in the middle, and Neapolitan.
Pringles would have been wise for Pringles to remember those, how they have those short stack cans instead of the long. But for instance, say a cheeseburger, they put like the beef flavored and the cheddar and the whatever, the pickle flavored
ketchup.
But yes, whatever makes up their cheeseburger flavored Pringles, but saran wrap it all together in one like pack, or a buffalo wings flavored, with your blue cheese and your buffalo flavored. The point I'm getting at is put it all together so I can sit there and not have to go hunting for like 4 different tubes to go snap. Yep, no, it tastes like shit, man.
Captain Wayne says marshmallow, graham cracker, and pickles. There you go, man. Hey, to each their own. Yep. All right, guys. With that, we are going to leave you for the night. Mr. Angry Elf, do you have anything you'd like to say to the people at home?
Go watch Ghostbusters. It comes out this Friday. Go watch it. Let's make this '1 movie of the weekend.
I mean,
get that box office up.
I think it will, but really, go watch X-Men '97 tomorrow.
Oh yeah, watch next. Yeah, get on your Disney Plus, watch your Bad Batch, and then watch your X-Men afterwards, and then this Friday, this Saturday, go watch Ghostbusters. You got your weekend planned out. Oh my gosh, life is grand.
Nerdvana. We're living in the
Oh,
golden age.
yes,
Ladies and
yes. Go
gentlemen.
watch it. What year is this? What year is this?
We've got X-Men the animated series and Ghostbusters in theaters. What fucking year are we in? And then come back next Tuesday so we can talk all about it.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Come
Alrighty.
back next Tuesday. Give us our reviews. All right. Good night, folks.
We'll see you guys next week. Shots.
Doc! Oh, no! We're too late! We missed it! Oh, jeez, this is heavy. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Doc, I got a time machine. I'm just gonna punch in the coordinates. Pop Culture Warrior, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on W.T.F. Nation Radio. Now crank this bad boy up to 88 miles per hour.
Let's see it.